Oh, I just can't wait to be done with this game. Holy mother of Pillsbury, are you kidding me? Are you guys trying to kill me, or has my army of the Glaze already betrayed me? And apparently, this isn't even close to the hardest of games that you guys have recommended to me. Speaking of that, thank you so much, you glorious guardians of the Glaze, for sending me a ton of recommendations on my last two videos, where I only played old and really old games for 2 months and then 2 weeks straight. If you haven't seen those videos yet, I'd maybe go check those out first so you can kind of get like a baseline of where I'm at with classic games, and then come back to watch this one, but you can do whatever your little heart desires. But my first two videos in this series were received so well that I feel like it's only right that I take the boatload of recommendations you guys have been giving me and make videos on them. And when I say boatload, I mean like a boatload, so it's obviously going to take me a while to compile a list and make videos about most, if not all of them. But I do read all of your guys' comments, and I do plan on making videos about most of these games, so be sure to stick around for this new series. It's just going to take some time, but since you guys wanted it so badly, you can consider this technically the official third entry into a brand new series where I discover and play through classic games that you guys recommend. And the first game that received multiple requests was none other than the apparently notoriously difficult Lion King game for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System and Sega Genesis. Hey there all you beautiful guardians of the Glaze, welcome back to the Milky Donut. If you're new here, this is the Milky Donut. We do all things video games, movies, and pop culture. And if you're not new here, well, usually I'd give you a nice compliment and say something along the lines of, wow, you're even more beautiful than the last time I saw you. But since you guys made me play this f***ass game, I'm just gonna hold back on that one for a little bit. I'm just kidding, you guys know that I love you, but this game, I should mention that I do have a goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers, aka Guardians of the Glaze, so if you could be so kind to like this video, hype it if you can, leave a glazy comment, and subscribe. It's completely free, and not only would it help me out tremendously, but it'll also give you the chance at becoming Subscriber of the Week. Every week, I look through the channel and see who's just gone a little bit out of their way to support the Milky Donut channel, and that could very well be you. And if it is you, not only do you get shouted out in every single video that I upload for that week, you also get your name displayed on my little Subscriber of the Week plaque, as you can see here. So yeah, if I were you, I'd go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video for the Subscriber of the Week reveal, because it could very well be you. And with all of that garbage out of the way, let's see if the Lion King for the SNES is indeed as difficult as everyone says. Before we get started, I just want to mention that I didn't really expect this series to blow up as much as it did. Both of my previous videos got over 40,000 views, so I'm still getting my game capture and emulation set up, so in this video I won't be giving live commentary as I was playing the game, but that's definitely something you can expect to see in the near future. The Lion King for the SNES and Sega Genesis is one of those games that almost everybody remembers as being way harder than it had any right to be, especially because it was apparently meant for children. And yeah, its reputation it's not exaggerated like at all. And as someone who has never played The Lion King for the SNES or really any SNES games at all, I learned my lesson. The difficulty wasn't accidental either, and it wasn't just because players were dumb little idiot kids back then, because no, this game is not easy, like, to put it nicely, at all. And it was very obviously designed that way intentionally. So despite me making myself sound younger than I am in my last videos calling SNES games old, I'm not actually that young. This game released in 1994. I'm 29, which means this game came out 2 years before I was born. So yes, I did miss like the height of SNES and Sega Genesis era, but I'm also old enough to remember some of my friends' older siblings having these consoles. So in order to understand why I and many others found this game to be so difficult, we have to look at the context of gaming in the mid-1990s, similar to how I've been doing in my last couple of videos. This was the height of the movie and video game rental era. May it rest its sweet soul in peace, you will forever be missed. But kids weren't just buying games, they were renting them for a few days, then obviously having to return them a few days later, so you would try to finish the entire game within that time period. I actually remember the first game I ever rented from what I believe was a family video, which was like a local Blockbuster, and that game was Rampage for the PlayStation 2. Man, what a banger. According to developer interviews that have resurfaced over the years, Disney actually pushed for the game to be more difficult. The reasoning was simple. If players could beat the game in a single rental, they wouldn't feel the need to buy it. Disney trying to drain money out of its innocent child fan base, who would have thought? Inevitably leading to the developers intentionally increasing the challenge to make sure most players wouldn't finish it in just a few days. Well, I think they accomplished that because I don't think 90% of kids who had their parents buy this game for them even ever beat it, so job well done, Disney. And I could almost feel that immediately when I actually started playing. In the beginning, I was pretty much like, okay, this isn't too bad. I don't really see what all the hubbub is about. You know, I'm running around as little child Simba doing some pretty basic platforming, nothing I hadn't experienced during my Castlevania 4 playthrough, all while encountering a few enemies here and there, but at this point it felt pretty standard. And to be honest, compared to a couple of the other games I played recently, such as Contra Hardcore, it actually felt like a game that was gonna ever so nicely ease me into the experience. Man, hell no. Yeah, I hit level 2, which I believe is called I Just Can't Wait to Be King. No, I just can't wait to light my computer on fire. I want no part of being king of anything unless we're talking about the king of I'm actually not good at video games land. Because, no. It's safe to say that at this point everything changed. I thought to myself, this is the game all of you little glazers were talking about, and not in a good way. Out of nowhere, the game threw me into the very depths of hell and said, have fun getting out because you won't. The game threw me right into this monkey puzzle where I have to move them in a very, very specific way, including backwards to progress forwards. I mean, what 10-year-old kid is going to be like, maybe if I regress and go backwards in this linear side-scroller that moves in a forward fashion, I will actually be able to continue forward. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that as a kid. I didn't even think of that as an adult, so I must just be an idiot. But ironically, that's something that I love about these older games is they constantly make you feel stupid, and once you figure out that you are stupid and have to change your ways and actually beat it, it feels so much more satisfying. And with that being said, I would love to say that I actually figured it out, but the only reason I figured it out was by sheer dumb luck, and then when I did it, I was like, this game is too easy. I was legitimately stuck at the monkeys for like way too long, like I was already getting discouraged this early on. As I mentioned multiple times about these older games, they barely tell you anything on what you're supposed to be actually doing. Now, I'm assuming this game had a manual that told you kind of how the game worked, but I'm willing to bet it didn't tell you how to do the stupid monkeys. All jokes aside, this is one thing that I repeatedly find myself loving about these games. Not only do they not care if you fail, they actually encourage you to fail. And they make you learn the game. The whole time I'm just sitting there like an idiot trying random things, hoping something finally works, all while sadly thinking to myself, this is a kid's game? Are we sure either I'm really stupid or this is insane? And this was only the beginning of my suffering. Then I got to the section where you have to ride an ostrich and you have to do a double jump at a specific time, and I still don't know what I was hitting, but I died like 1,000 times to something that I don't even, like, there were, like, somebody tell me in the comments, I don't know what I was hitting. Like, to this day, I really don't know. I think I just got lucky and happened to get past it after 1,000,000 tries. But yeah, it got to me. Like, it was basically just 2 hours of this.
I swear to God. No! No! No!
But from this point on, I knew one thing and one thing only. Like I said earlier, this game wants me to fail. Like, I actually completely understand now why so many people got stuck so early on in this game and just probably said, fuck it, because I almost did. But even now, you see people saying that they never got past this level. Shoot, you guys in the comments told me your own struggles with this game, and yeah, I get it. I'm slowly learning. This felt like anything but a natural difficulty curve that also kindly eases you into the more difficult gameplay. Yet again proving to me that these classic games required more skill to even progress from the beginning of the games. And keep in mind, this is a kid's game. My respect for old school gamers just continues to escalate, and I haven't even touched the hardest games yet. Yeah, I see you 80s arcade games. Don't you guys worry, I'm getting there. Even if it costs me my own sanity and well-being, but you guys want it, so you're gonna get it. What makes this so difficult is just how fast the difficulty spike happens, as well as the lack of checkpoints, which made me realize just how soft modern games have made us with constant checkpoints and saves. Now, to be fair, we are comparing games that have anywhere from 5 to 15 hour playthroughs to games with anywhere from 20 to 100 plus hour playthroughs, so obviously some games require them, but nonetheless, it's caused us to become soft when it comes to having to complete a level without dying. You could see this as unfair, but for me it just raises the stakes and makes that level completion all the more satisfying. Once I realized that level 2 was setting the tone for the rest of the game, I had to actually lock in and take it seriously. The game had more than earned my full attention by this point. As far as how the game felt as far as gameplay goes, I'll be honest, the more I played, the more I did notice that the controls felt a bit stiff. The jumps are extremely precise. If you're even slightly off by like 1 pixel, you're falling. Trying to grab onto the hippo's tails got infuriating after 30 minutes of constant failure, and every time it happened, it felt like I was just barely off, which inevitably did start to get frustrating. There's absolutely no wiggle room, but even with that being said, I struggle to say that that's a flaw. The controls for the most part are fair, the hitboxes and landing zones aren't inconsistent, you just have to know exactly how to hit them, and as much as it might suck, that's still fair game. Once I finally managed to make it through the Elephant Graveyard, the Stampede, Simba's Exile, and Hakuna Matata levels, all of which have great art design by the way. I mean, like, it looks phenomenal. I finally grew up into the Simba we all know and love. Once you become Big Boy Simba, naturally the game gives you new mechanics to use. Initially, I was excited because I was like, hell yeah, I can actually fight now, I've got a proper attack, I can actually swipe enemies instead of just jumping on top of them, and now I have a roar ability that can be used to stun enemies or flip certain enemies over. So of course, this game will be way easier now. Man, hell no, because the game doesn't exactly tell you how any of this works, and before you yell at me, yes, I'm sure the manual explains everything, okay, but I didn't have one. But at this point, boys and girls, I quickly realized that not only was I dealing with surgical levels of tight platforming and enemies, I'm also trying to figure out when I'm supposed to attack, when I'm supposed to roar, and which enemies even react to either one of those. Some enemies only get stunned by the roar, some you can just hit, and some will just outright kill you if you guess wrong. But at the end of the day, this game is for kids, so I don't even know why I'm stressing. Being able to grapple onto ledges for extended periods of time was another new mechanic, and also one of the more challenging ones to actually get consistent with. There are points in the environment where you're supposed to latch on and swing across gaps, which on paper sounds simple, except for the fact that yet again it's insanely particular about positioning. Even if you're slightly off, again like by 1 pixel, you just miss it completely and fall, and when you fall, you die. A lot, which makes watching speedruns of this game after actually playing it even more insane. And from that point on, the game basically shifts into its second half. If the early game throws a wall at you in level 2, the back half is where it tests how consistent you actually are. You start Simba's destiny as adult Simba, and straight away the tone changes. The environments feel more hostile, the platforming gets somehow even tighter, and enemies demand way more deliberate interaction. You're not just reacting anymore, you're expected to understand everything the game has been throwing at you, which was actually an unexpected highlight for me. It was nice to play a game that trusted in the fact that you've actually been improving and earned your place in the game up to this point. Unlike a lot of new games, where you just get upgraded weapons and abilities to make the game easier, this game doesn't do that. You do get more abilities, but it definitely doesn't get any easier. Levels like Be Prepared really double down on precision. Moving platforms, tight jumps, hazards that require near perfect timing, it all starts stacking on top of each other. And at this point, mistakes don't even feel like learning moments anymore. They feel like something you're gonna be punished for, because at this point, you should know better than to be making the mistakes you're making, which yet again brings me to the fact that these games are not protecting you from failure. Because the margin for error just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. All of your new mechanics such as attacking, roaring, grappling are now fully baked into the level design. The game expects you to know exactly when to use each one without hesitation and with very little forgiveness. There's no slowing down to figure things out at this point. I mean, if there ever was, but hey, what are you gonna do, huh? At this point, you either get it or you don't, and to be honest, I still don't know if I get it. I think half of it was just luck in watching videos on YouTube, because I did get stuck a few times, but if you don't get it now, you're darn well going to be replaying the same section over and over until you do. At this point in the game, pattern recognition matters more than reflexes, and knowing what's coming next matters more than simply reacting to it. All of this is still built on the same foundation that most of these classic games are built on. Limited lives, limited continues, and checkpoints that don't always feel so generous, making it so that the further you get, the more pressure there is to not mess up. And by the time you finally reach the end and face Scar, it's not even about one big difficulty spike. It's about everything you've dealt with leading up to it. All the trial and error you've had to overcome just to get here. Just getting to the next 10 feet of a level consistently feels like part of the challenge, and well, that's because it was. And that's really what defines the second half of this game. The first half of the game shocks you by throwing you into the middle of it and showing you just how hard it is, and the second half proves that it wasn't just a fluke. If the early game filters players out, the late game tests the ones who are left, which is a testament to how these older games didn't insult the player's abilities. They didn't dumb things down or give you an easy way out after failing 1,000 times. And by the end of it, the game makes one thing extremely clear. This was never meant to be easy. The very foundation is built on repetition, memorization, and precision all the way through. So when people say that The Lion King on the SNES and Sega Genesis is one of the hardest classic games, it's not just because of one level or one enemy or one puzzle, it's because the game commits to that difficulty from beginning to end and weaves it through every single aspect of the game. And yeah, did I mention that this is a kid's game? I think. Whatever. But I had a blast playing this game. I'm super excited to continue forward with this series because you guys have given me a ton of games to play. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So comment what you think the hardest classic game is. If it's on the SNES, Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, who cares, anything. Just let me know what you think the hardest old game is. Don't forget to like, hype, comment, and subscribe to become a guardian of the glaze. And before I go, I didn't forget you silly little glazers. The brand new subscriber of the week is none other than Mr. Nesquik. You've been here since the very beginning of my channel, and you've never not shown up for all of my videos. You're a true guardian of the glaze and a loyal member of the Glaze Army. You mean the world to me. And with that being said, I'll see you next time on the Milky Donut.